What does Zyn really give you? Not just smoke-free nicotine satisfaction, but also real freedom to do more of what you love, when and where you want to do it. Why bring Zyn along for the ride? Because America's #1 nicotine pouch opens up all the possibilities of right now. With Zyn, you don't just find freedom, you keep finding it. Find your Zyn. Learn more at Zyn.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Now's a good time to remember where tequila's story truly began. In 1795, Cuervo invented tequila.
Cuervo.
What are you doing here?
Cuervo. Anytime someone says Cuervo, I show up.
Well, I do know that to be true, but even during ad reads, like...
Cuervo.
I think you could lay out, especially for one of our great partners.
Sweet, delicious Cuervo.
Since then, Cuervo has stayed true to its roots. The same family, the same land, the same passion.
Cuervo.
So, enjoy the tequila that started it all. Cuervo.
Cuervo.
The tequila that invented tequila. Proximo. Cuervo.com. Please drink responsibly.
Cuervo.
Where you at, Mike Ryan?
I told you.
He's hiding.
Yeah.
He's hiding. That was just a celebration of Stugotz's return, everybody.
Welcome back. Everyone.
Where has he been? He just came in. He staggered in, and this is how he said good morning. He's like, Vegas, the win. I don't remember where I was, but I'll tell you, pretty sure Coach K was with the dead, too.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was the gummies, the shrooms, but everywhere I turned at the Wynn Resorts, who I saw was Coach K. I think.
When you're on mushrooms, everyone looks like Coach K, though.
Is that what's happening? Put it on the poll, Juju, at Batard Show. When you're on mushrooms, does everyone look like Coach K? Because he came back talking like it was Being John Malkovich, the movie, that everywhere he went in Vegas, everyone looked like Coach K. But to be fair, it's kind of what Vegas is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suspiciously dark hair?
Suspiciously dark hair, trying to be younger when in their 80s. And gambling the rest of their life away.
Yep. Playing golf at the Wynn.
Following the dead.
Coach K.
The thing that's the coolest, Stugotz, we should just start the show because we're a hockey town that wins all the big games.
Yes.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast. Passing down low, Reinhart, they score! Aaron Ekblad makes it 1-0 Florida. Off it goes, Kulikov, and they score! Florida leads 2-0. Click. Forsling quickly to Reinhart with help coming. Out in front for Boquist, and they score! Jesper Boquist put on the top line tonight, and he makes it 3-0 Florida. Mikkola scores! Another goal from a Florida defenseman, and it's 4-0 Panthers. And here's another goal, this one from Greer. Another unlikely goal scored. The route continues.
A tied draw, the puck pokes out to Sam Bennett, and Bennett, who scored a beauty.
And now Seth Jones moving in, shoots, scores! 1-0 Panthers as Seth Jones beats Joseph Woll. Saved by Woll, score! 2-0 Florida. Here's Greer, kicked out by Woll. Greer slides it across, score! Gadjevich makes it 3-0 Florida. Unrestricted free agent Mitch Marner. Score! Marchand the shot deflected in by Losterinen. It is now 4-1 Florida. Right off the draw, Reinhart beats Woll. Now it's Marchand, sends it down into the empty net. An exclamation point off the stick of Marchand, his third point tonight, as he will go 5-0 in Game 7s against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I owe the champion Florida Panthers an apology. I am a coward. I was scared of a Game 5 and Game 7 in Canada. Yeah. And today, South Florida gets to feel pretty good because those hockey losers who invented the sport in Canada never get to win that game. The game is now won in a swamp.
I told you so.
In a swamp. Okay, Roy, nobody likes that guy. Like, nobody all you've got by way of hello is I told you so.
I love that guy.
I will tell you why I don't like that guy. I make fun of Wilbon and Kornheiser for this. They now do a show where it's just old men, and it shouldn't be called Pardon the Interruption anymore. It should just be, I got that right. And they go 4 for 10. And they don't mention the 6 they got wrong. Now, you were not afraid, admittedly. Roy was not in any way afraid. We'll get to his thoughts in a moment. But those goal calls we played, they had the best part missing. I again listened to the game this way, Stugotz, because I have not felt this kind of sports excellence down here in my lifetime, except when the University of Miami football team had all the first-round picks and when the Miami Heat had LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. But this team, Paul Maurice is now 27-0 in the playoffs when he has a lead after any period.
That's crazy.
That's not the craziest stat I have for you today.
I doubted that stat. I was like, I'm going to go back and look it up. And it's true.
It is true. Anytime they lead after a period, they win the playoff game.
A period?
A period. Sorry. Thank you, Zaz. I did that incorrectly.
I don't think Chris went back and looked it up. I think he just accepted it.
No, I did. No. In my defense, and Stu knows me.
It's the greatest compliment it's the greatest compliment that Chris deigns to read, and unlike his father, retain a morsel of information because he heard something, couldn't believe it was true, and then verified it.
I'm not gonna lie, I went back, I looked up the first 5, and I'm like, all right, 5 in a row. It's probably the next 27. That's good enough for me.
Attaboy.
Okay, give me the stat of the day for a second. I'm going to give you one off of yesterday's game, but we didn't play the best part of those goal calls.
Start of the day, it is the start of the day. Start of the day, it is the start of the day. Start of the day, it is the start of the day. Start of the day, it is the start of the
Chris just admitted to me he didn't look anything up.
That's such a surprise.
I believed him for a moment.
They all just back here, Chris and Tony talking, it would be impossible to look up. Right. And they're like, well, you could look up. You could see every time they took a lead. Nah, too much work.
Well, somebody did look it up. We should be crediting them. Instead, we're stealing it, not crediting them, and you're not even looking it up. Ladies and gentlemen, journalism. Chris Cody learned from his father.
Also, he said the first 5. I knew that was BS.
Right, of
first
course.
5, please give me a break.
Jeez.
Okay, there's so many stats off this game, Stugotz. But last night, to punctuate that series and end that loser franchise that way.
Mm-hmm.
The Florida.
They're losers.
But they are. They're historic losers. They play in that game. When they do, they always lose it. And no one ever loses it like that. Like that doesn't happen at home. But they knew it was going to happen. They knew after the first goal. They knew that's how that was going to go. Like that. Toronto is a sad sack franchise of 0-7 in all the games that matter. That's not the great stat. This is the great stat. Just from in the last couple of games, you had the Florida Panthers, champions, in the situation they had to win 2 out of 3 on the road. They were an overtime goal from being down 3-0, Stugotz. They were an overtime goal from being finished. And then they've got to go on the road and win 2 out of 3 in Toronto. And we can admit, right, you've seen those crowds. They were trying to believe. They wanted to believe. They were an overtime goal from being up 3-0 and dethroning the champions. After that happened, the Florida Panthers didn't merely score 12 goals and outscore the Toronto 12-4.
It's so many goals.
Yeah.
But not so many goals. Like, that'd be one thing. What if I gave you odds on what I'm about to say? What odds do you think if I told you right as Game 5 was beginning, here's what's going to happen. The Panthers are going to get 12 goals. They're going to all be from 12 different players, and none of them are going to be named Kachuk or Barkov.
Is that the stat? Or?
What kind of odds do you think you'd get on that? 12 goals, 12 different players, none of them are Barkov or Kachuk. That's nuts. Like, that's a depth that makes this year's Panthers team better than the last 2. Because at the end, what you've got finishing Toronto is the greatest Toronto finisher of all time. Marchand is now 5-0 against them in elimination games. They're 0-7 in their last 7. This goes back to 2013. And the most amazing thing that happened yesterday, and it's why Mike Ryan's not here today, that coward. After the game, Paul Maurice said, I used to hate him. Hate's a strong word, but I didn't know him. He's the opposite of the person I thought. And then here's the quote. He's a wonderful human being. It's the most shocking thing to happen in the last 3 games. A goal and 2 assists for Marchand, and he punctuates it by stabbing that country in the heart. It's got to make him crazy that it's a swamp in Carolina.
And Dallas. I mean, think of the 3 teams, 3 of the 4 teams remaining.
It's got to make those losers in Canada crazy.
Now you're talking.
Did you see there's this one clip where they're watching, what's it called, like Maple Leaf Square, whatever they call it, outside.
Oh, in my veins.
Where they're all watching outside the arena. And I don't know if it was at 3-0 or maybe it was at 4-1. This one rogue Maple Leafs fan, he pushes his way through the crowd, bumps through everybody, and just dips. Just by himself, walks out with everybody staring at him in shock. Oh, I loved it.
I feel like you spoke to the depth of this series is the story of this series. I can make the argument our 3rd and 4th. Well, the 3rd line was clearly the best line in this series. I can make the argument that the 4th line was the 2nd best line for the Panthers. I know Barkov and Reinhart were actually really good in this series defensively. Like, they didn't put up stats scoring, but I just Zaz, the depth of the is that not the story of this series?
I don't know if it's the story of the series, but I think the Panthers' 4th line was better than the Marner Matthews line. I think that.
Yeah, 3 goals from the 3rd line, 1 goal from the 4th line. Secondary scoring for the Panthers really carried them.
I think the story is, especially with the way that the series ended, the 2 acquisitions that Bill Zito made, Marchand and Seth Jones.
The Seth Jones game.
Game 7. In a Game 7, you found out what Seth Jones about.
Nobody likes I told you so guy. And
Sorry.
Roy is I told you so guy. We have established that, correct?
Seth Jones, my dog.
But
I also told you that they would win Game 5 on the road, lose
And
Game
I told
6,
you so off?
and win Game 7.
Oh my God!
I'm just saying.
Isn't I told?
That's
Everyone
what
was
Roy
right.
just was just generally confident.
Okay. You know what?
I after before Game 5, I told you specifically, gonna win tonight, gonna lose Game 6.
Is that on
gonna
wax?
win
Do
in
we
7.
have that
No,
recorded somewhere?
is on
We
wax.
gotta
Let's
go
find
find
that. Let's find that.
Stugotz, can we put together an I told you so off? Like you would totally
Please,
totally be the host of an I told you so off. I did text Roy after that first period. By the way, but just for the record, if you don't know what we're talking about and you did not watch that game, you've got Toronto at home, and the best part of these goal calls is what I'm going to play for you in a second because they edited it out, and it's just tremendous. But these people know hockey. So when they're seeing 75 shots in 2 periods, they're like, oh, good God. Like, we were totally lucky in that first period. And this is an onslaught of we're going to dent the goalie's nipples because 75 shots is an insanity.
Dan, at one point in the first period, late in the first period, Kenny Albert, with a straight face, said on the broadcast that the Panthers are out shooting the Maple Leafs 26-0.
And I'm telling you, after all that, because I know the Leafs, after the Panthers dominated the first 10 minutes, the Leafs kind of got their act together. But after that first period, Panther fans were kind of feeling good. I wasn't. I was like, this is 4 straight periods. We haven't scored. I was starting to see the boogeyman. Even though we were playing well, we weren't getting goals. So I was terrified. I've never been happier. That Seth Jones goal going in. Oh, the noise I made.
Stugotz, I don't want to think about the noises that you made. What's worse, an I told you so off, or Tony, who just got here, now claiming he's the good luck charm?
It's a sacrificial one, though, Dan. That's where it's like, it's sacrificial in the sense where anytime that I stop watching, they do well. Anytime I bet on the other team, the Panthers win. So yesterday, I was locked in on the game, Dan, okay? First one that I've seen start to finish, except for a little bit. And I'll explain why. So my wife looks at me, hey, what's for dinner? I said, I don't know, what do you want? Let's pick up something. I said, all right, during the first intermission, I'll go out, I'll get something, I'll come back, right? First intermission was quick. It was a quick 20 minutes. All of a sudden, I'm on my way back, 3 goals scored. Because I'm not watching. Right? So I was watching the first period, bam, 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 shots going in, off the side, off the post, wall, bam, grabs one. I don't know, whatever they call that.
This happened to a lot of Panther fans. No, this happened to a lot of Panther fans. I got a text from my friend John last night in the middle of the second period. He's like, I went to put my daughter to bed after the first period, and we started scoring. I'm still laying in her bed watching on my phone. This guy knew what he had to do. When you are laying down in your bed watching the game and you're putting your kid to bed and they score 3 goals, you don't get up from that bed and go back downstairs. You stay in that bed while your kid is sleeping watching the rest of the game because it's good luck for you to be in that bed. And thank you, John, for your service. Thank you for what you did last night.
I literally said to my wife last night after the second period, she wanted to go upstairs and go to sleep.
Nope.
I said, listen, you could want that all you want. You're not going anywhere.
Right.
You've been sitting right there. The score's 4-1. You're not going anywhere. You close your eyes if you want, but you're not going anywhere.
Bedtime's 9:15. My daughter didn't go to bed till after that second period. You're not leaving in the middle of this second period where you just scored 3 goals in 6 minutes.
So right. I watched the Heat come back against the Bucks from a bathroom because I went to the bathroom. They were down 16. They start coming back. I stayed in that bathroom.
It's that guy, to answer your question, Dan. The guy who thinks he's doing the things that help the team win.
I know. I don't like that guy. I don't like when our show
But it
becomes
works,
that
Dan.
guy.
You don't know it.
works.
It might have
I've been there, guys.
It works.
It might have been different if I didn't do that. You don't know that.
You guys are pathetic.
I have one more example of me being a good luck charm. Okay,
You're pathetic narcissist.
Sure, possibly. Team needed me. Exactly, Zaz. Thank you. What was it? Game 3. They're about to go down 3-0. Overtime. We're watching with a group of friends. I go, I'm going to leave. I'm going to walk outside right now. The Panthers are going to score. Because if I'm here, they won't score. They'll lose. If I'm not here, they're going to score. They're going to win. I walked out. 2 minutes later, bam.
Thank you, Tony.
Save the season. Thanks,
You just wanted to smoke a joint, right? I mean, let's be honest.
Guys, I'm going to go outside for the team.
Tony,
I'll be back in
Dog
10
walker.
minutes.
were you outside when they stole your gimmick? Were you watching as it
I was
happening?
disgusted. No, I was locked in. So I'm watching the pregame. All of a sudden, a guy called Biz. I don't know who he is. Who is
Paul
he?
Bizanek.
You don't know who he is?
I don't know who he is. Damn, I'm just getting into the sport, buddy. What do you want me to do?
Right.
All right,
Would you believe me when
the
I tell
team.
you that he played in the National Hockey League but never played for the Leafs?
Yeah.
What?
Well, he grew up a Leafs fan, but yeah, never.
He
actually
never played for them.
Yeah.
I thought this guy would be like their all-time leading scorer or something. So I'm watching the thing. I'm on the couch. My wife's got the baby. We're hanging out. All of a sudden, this guy gets up from the dais there, starts walking over to the side of the set, and then he starts lighting a candle. Yeah. My wife perks up. My wife, who has knows less hockey than I do. Okay, she goes, "That's your bit," and I look up from my phone and I'm like, son of a bitch, that's my bit. Can we please zoom in on what this guy Biz Nasty is doing? He's lighting up candles
for all their stars.
Eerily similar.
These thieves. They
Eerily similar, Dan Le Batard, to a very particular and one of a kind San Boselli Belita. Okay, look at that. I don't know who these guys are, but they're imposters.
He lit
look
a
at the
candle
original
for
one right
Marner,
there. Look at the original one right there, and I lit it in the studio.
Huh.
Okay, and that has been war torn right there. That San Boselli. Jags were down 21-0. Okay, we lit the San Boselli. All of a sudden, bam! Jags win. Greatest comeback of their lifetime.
Who is this Biz?
Who is he? I don't know, but he's a thief. En un descarado.
Yeah, put it on the poll at Levitard.
Sinvergüenza.
Biz un sinvergüenza descarado.
Me and Zaslow are wondering how many hockey terms Tony knows. I mean,
we will quiz him in a moment. Let's figure out the game show in a second. It's fun for the entire family. Let's quiz him and ask him questions in a moment. But I just want to read you guys some stats because 75 shot attempts are the most allowed by any team this season through 2 periods, regular season and playoffs. It's crazy. You have, all right, that's the largest margin of a Game 7 loss at home in NHL history. It's tied for the previous record. They've been playing hockey a long time. You do not lose Game 7 at home that way. Like, I've never seen it. I don't know when the last, it happened one other time. Don't remember it, couldn't tell you. I've never seen it. So what was it, 1912? How long is hockey history? As long as ice has been frozen, you never see a Game 7 look like that when one of the teams is at home.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Ryan. You know I'm a race fan. You know I travel to races, and I had a great experience a couple of weeks ago sitting outside the RV, toasting the good times with Miller Lights in hand with some of my best buddies. It was truly a memory that I'll remember forever, and truly a time that was made better by making that time a Miller time. Trust me when I say, there just isn't a better feeling than hanging out with your boys, clanging those beautiful white cans of Miller Lite, and realizing that you don't got to worry about the taste of your beer because the taste of your beer is designed for people who love the taste of beer, a taste that you know you can depend on. A great beer trusted by beer lovers for 50 years. From game night to race night to parties with friends or a special anniversary, celebrating important occasions means more moments with the coolest people in your life. Cheers to 50 years of Miller Lite, the great-tasting light beer for people who love beer since 1975. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Hey everybody, it's Mike Ryan. Now the weather is warming up. That means summer concert season is right around the corner, and so many great acts are releasing albums and touring those albums over the summer. We got stadium shows, amphitheaters, people that want to wear shorts and party all night long. But guess what? Some tickets are hard to find. Sometimes tickets are sold out and you have hard to get into events and you have nowhere to turn other than the secondary market. Well, why don't you turn to Game Time? Because from my experience, that's where I always turn to find the best deal. You may be asking yourself, Mike, what does last minute deals even mean? It means you can save up to 60% off buying last minute tickets for sports, comedy, and theater. But most importantly, this summer, if you're a music lover like me, check out Game Time for concert tickets I already have. Take the guesswork out of buying concert tickets and shows with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Dan for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Okay, so I thought I was good with money. Turns out I was really good at ignoring it. Like, how am I spending this much on delivery or Uber? Or that one shoe store that I buy too many shoes from. Then I started using Monarch Money, and dude, it's a financial wake-up call. Monarch's not just some budgeting app. It's basically your money command center. Puts everything, accounts, credit cards, investments, into one place so you're not guessing anymore. And listen, I found stuff I didn't even know I was paying for. Since I started using Monarch, I'm tracking my spending, actually saving, and yeah, even having money check-ins with my wife, and we're looking at each other and we're like, yeah, okay, we're all good. It makes the hard stuff way easier, and over 1 million households use Monarch. It was named the best budgeting app of 2025 by the Wall Street Journal. So it's not just me hyping up, it's legit. It's real. Real deal Holyfield. And get control of all of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code Dan at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code Dan.
Dan Le Batard.
World War III.
Stugotz.
We're going to get that off the ground.
World War III, our group chat has a pretty good feeling about this one.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
The Bill Zito thing that you guys mentioned. Tim Reynolds says all Bill Zito has done is get Paul Maurice to unretire, land Matthew Tkachuk, sign basically the entire core to team-friendly deals, win the Cup last year, and this year he adds Seth Jones and Brad Marchand at the deadline, and they lead the way to a Game 7 road win, GM of the year.
Hockey started November of 1917.
Okay, so tell me the last time. This was tied for the largest loss at home ever, and this is what brings me to the greatest part of these goal calls. I'm telling you, Stugotz, because I've never been able to do this before. I've never had this confidence that I know what I'm watching is top of the game excellent, that it doesn't matter that Toronto was better in this regular season because the Panthers are best at the hockey stuff that works this time of year. We learned it. They changed the whole blueprint because the Capitals, what they just did in the playoffs, that happened to the Panthers. That don't work in the playoffs. And so while I'm sitting here and I've got all technology available to me, the way that I want to listen to the hockey game is the way that I learned hockey in this market on our radio show because Randy Moeller was loving this team on the radio when no one would listen to it because it was a funny little thing in town that couldn't make sales work, like failed ownership after failed ownership. I learned to love it on the radio somehow, which is ridiculous. It's not any good on the radio. Like, that's not the way to watch hockey.
If you have, well, you're not watching it, you're listening to it.
Thank you.
You got it.
I feel like it's like Mike Ryan's reading, where it's...
I was reading the audiobook, but listening
like reading
to
So I feel like radio is watching when it's done well. It's one of the reasons that I love radio. So this is how I decide to listen to in hugely important games. I simply Zaz left here the other day saying, and he's like, God, I hope the Panthers get up 1-0, because then you can hear the fear through the audio if you're paying attention to nothing else, none of the distractions. And so I decide via YouTube and one of these streamers who's just doing a radio call, I'm listening to the Toronto broadcasters call this game. And what I'm listening for after their sadness, which is great enough, is the silence that comes afterward in the murmur of those losers know they're going to lose.
In my veins.
Those losers know they're going to lose. They know the swamp owns them, owns their country. They know that Florida owns hockey there the last 10 years. And all they do in this situation is lose this game every time. And you can feel it in the building and you can feel it in the audio.
2002 Western Conference Finals, the Avalanche lost to the Red Wings 7-0, Game 7.
Okay,
there
so
it is.
It did happen in my lifetime.
Yes.
Again, this was before radio and hockey, and I fell in love with the sport.
Yeah.
I want you to listen to the murmur, and this extends through that garden all the way through the country. Like it burns through their forests. They wake up sick today. They know they're losers. The swamp owns them. And listen to the silence in that arena when they weren't booing or leaving, because they were doing that too. Because once it's 3-0, everyone there knows, why am I here for the guillotine? Like, am I going to just sit in this sadness? Listen to the silence after these goals.
As they continue to be aggressive. Scores! And they continue to score. Oh, boy. Sam Reinhart. And it's a 4-goal lead with just over 10 minutes to go.
So hollow.
I think I was able to hear the jersey hit the ice from the crowd.
They were doing that,
And
huh?
you can clearly hear the music, like so clear, because it's just so hollow in there.
Good acoustics in that building.
Marchand sent it down into the empty net. An exclamation point off the stick of Marchand, his third point tonight, as he will go 5-0 in Game 7s against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Sounds like a Marlins game.
It does.
Play it again.
Brad Marchand is now second all-time in postseason points against the Maple Leafs. Second all-time. History of the franchise, behind only Gordie Howe.
Now, if Mike wants to do the whole take of I'm not going to root for him, that's his prerogative. But the whole he's not good thing, I need an apology for that.
Wow.
Because the guy he's made the third line better. He's great. And I need an apology from Mike.
How is that possible?
Can you cut up Chris saying that as the ultimate compliment? He's great. Just that you were trying to articulate the flowery of prose and you just quit in the middle of your sentence.
I mean, I just was trying to find the words, and great was the word.
It really works.
You found it. Yeah.
Nah, let Mike keep doing this because the Panthers are winning. The Panthers are winning despite me.
Actually, he might know what he's doing here.
Again, with this narcissism, we're the reason they win. Again.
That's right.
No, I mean, it's just asinine.
I just said that guy is annoying, but Mike has to stay entrenched. He does. I mean, he's helping him out.
Okay, look. I believe Mike Ryan strategically took this position because he wants the Panthers to win so badly that he will do the ultimate sacrifice, that he's Jesus of hockey. He will be loud wrong and stubbornly loud wrong as content the entire time. And if he's the most wrong at the end, he gets to celebrate because Marchand has won in overtime of Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final with a goal to give them the season.
Yep.
And he will then have won even though he is the loudest, wrongest loser from here through Canada.
Speaking of being entrenched in a terrible take, Witty will join us in the next segment.
Nice.
Well, they've been looking. I have felt bad for the producers today because they have spent the last 2 hours mining through the rubbish that is the sound from us at the Clevelander when Chris Whittingham, after Huberdeau was traded, quit the Panthers forever.
They tore apart a team that was amazing. Like, from a fan standpoint, like, I go to a lot of games, and I just enjoyed every night going to the arena thinking that the Panthers might score 10, because it was a legitimate possibility. They might score 10
they
goals.
only want the cup.
The coach came in is like, the style is going to change. We're going to play playoff hockey in the regular season. Listen, pal, if you're 6 points, if you're 6 points out of the final playoff spot, you're not playing playoff hockey in the playoffs. I enjoyed the team. I liked the team. It's been bad for the Florida Panthers for 20 years. I can't fathom that after 2 years of unprecedented success for this franchise, I'd be like, you know what? After that unprecedented success, we're done with it.
Listen, pal, to Maurice is one of the most disrespectful things.
Listen
I've
to
ever
me.
heard.
Listen to me, pal.
I mean, Zaslow fired him, so.
I can't believe that Chris Whittingham would show his face in public.
Listen, pal.
No, that's part of it. Yes, condescending Paul Maurice is one thing. Again, Paul Maurice's record since Witty said that, 27-0 anytime he has a lead after a period.
Man, these guys have no idea what they're talking about, huh?
I did dub Paul Maurice that year the murderer of fun.
Yeah, you did.
You don't get away with that. Everyone needs to know
fair.
that. No.
Yeah,
It's actually a good take because he is. Just the other team's fun.
To be fair.
Whittingham should not show his face in public after that, but also to be condescended by anybody with a listen, pal, is one thing. For that bespectacled, polysyllabic broadcasting foof with his gelled hair to hit you with a listen, pal, as if he knows more hockey than you just because he's 30 years old and a child prodigy who gets to call soccer games.
How about anyone in South Florida telling a hockey lifer, listen, pal?
I love it.
Whittingham is the most wrong anyone has ever been about hockey. Do you understand that?
And basketball. He called Giannis a number 2.
Yes, he did call Giannis a number 2.
Again, I only know soccer, guys. I don't know when we're going to understand this.
But
we only
honestly,
know soccer.
Honestly, we are creeping into the territory where this Panthers take is worse than that Giannis take.
Listen,
because that Giannis take is atrocious.
He's one of the best power forwards of all time. I want to nominate this right here. I want to play it again and nominate this right here as a Hall of Famer all-time wrong take. There are others, but in the history of the show and the history of spoken words, given that, Stugotz, I'm coming in here today and I'm saying, oh my God, the Panthers have the best thing. They have the most excellent thing. It's not temporary. They will go in and do that to you, and I will have the confidence to listen to it on the equivalent of the radio because I know I'm going to enjoy silences because they're better than you at this kind of hockey, even if they were worse than you the rest of the regular season. And Whittingham, again, they do murder fun. We said last year, wasn't it great? They're in the corner for 90 seconds. McDavid's right in front of the net. The puck's not coming out.
Goosebumps.
We know the puck's not coming out, but the fun was murdered there.
Once we scored last night, I wanted Mikkola to play the entire game in the corner. Just throw the puck down to Mikkola. God, I love when he's on the ice.
Mikkola almost killed the referee.
He did. That also happened.
That was scary, man.
Dude, was his eyeball out? What happened there?
There was a good 10-second chunk where we all thought he was going to lose an eye, but luckily he got him right above the eye. How about that backup referee coming in? I just imagine that guy's probably like the backup referee never goes in. So I'm imagining that guy's got his feet up, eating a burger, just like, this is my free game. Just shit.
I want to get to this most wrong take, and I want other nominees in our show's history. I've got a couple, but the idea, Stugotz, that I'm going to say it again because it's equally ridiculous. 12 goals by 12 players, not named Kachuk or Barkov, would be as ridiculous a stat to me as 12 goals by 13 players, and none of them are Kachuk or Barkov. That stat makes no sense to me. To get 12 goals from 12 players in the most important games of your season.
Well, I can understand Matthew Kachuk not scoring because he is hurt. He looked bad out
I
there.
said
He's
that
on
too.
body.
I said that too, that he's hurt.
Another I told you so. You're that guy now. So he's
not hitting anybody.
So wait a minute. You're that guy. You're the guy.
Roy should be that guy.
No, but all of you are now doctors. You're now doctors, and you're the guy who points at your television and says he's too hurt to be out there.
We just know our Chucky, and he's hitting people, but it's not the way he normally hits people.
I'm a doctor.
You concur?
You're
you concur?
I thought you were a judge.
I'm not a doctor.
I know. But as a judge, do you want to make a ruling on this?
Is he hurt? Is Kachuk hurt?
Judge Zaslow rules inconclusive evidence. Inconclusive.
Wow.
With prejudice.
Wow.
Inconclusive.
I mean,
Do you guys want to quiz Tony now? Do you guys have an assortment of questions to ask Tony? Roy, did you come up with any game show music that could support whatever it is that Zaslow is doing here?
I did not.
You did not? You just stared straight ahead, grinning maniacally because the Hockeys have you intoxicated and made you forget to do your job.
That's right.
Okay, so you're just sitting there smiling.
I mean, the Panthers won, Dano.
I know. Okay, so hold on.
He's just been singing back here like humming. Like,
Roy's day, man.
So Roy, okay, you know what? I'm sorry. You know what? I'm sorry. You know what? I made this mistake during the last hockey playoffs where Roy was at the elbow room with the cup, and I was yelling at him. So I'm not going to make the same mistake this time.
Thank you.
Roy, the floor is yours, but while you're talking about whatever it is that you would like to say about the Panthers, can somebody please get me game show music so I could play the hot new game of Tony Gets Quizzed by Stugotz and Zaz because someone's executive producing the show instead of just smiling at me because the Panthers have him drunk with power.
He's just like, what's up, Dan?
I'm here.
So please, Roy, you were not scared. I texted you, you're scared, and you're like, nope, we had it even more. We is what you said. As soon as Drake made that giant bet, I believe you were taunting Drake on X.
Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
You were very excited.
Yeah, he's been a loser for the past year and a half. And once he put money down in this game, I knew the Panthers were going to win. And the way the Panthers looked in the first 10 minutes of that game, oh, that was classic Panthers. The only thing
what
that
about the second 10 minutes?
Finish.
What about the second 10 minutes?
Yeah,
that was scary.
That
made you nervous.
That was everyone's analysis of that first period. Tale of two periods.
It was
10 minutes. Like, it was just like all 9 people that I heard talk about that period. It was hilarious.
It absolutely was a tale of two periods. But second and third period, it was game over. As soon as they got that first goal, I said on Twitter, currently known as X, that once you get Bob 2, it's it. That's how well he was playing. That last 10 minutes, that's how great he was playing.
Nobody likes this fan base. Nobody likes this team. They are the murderers of fun. Everyone hates this show. This conversation of swaggering around, I told you so, we're the baddest and the best because you beat the Leafs. And what cometh this way is scary. Canada's only got one chance, but I'm scared of it.
What, Winnipeg?
No, Winnipeg's,
no, not
Winnipeg's out,
Winnipeg.
Stugotz.
Oh, they're out.
They lost Stugotz.
Oh, that was a story right there with
Yes.
Mark Scheifele. He lost his spot on Friday and decided to play Game 6 on Saturday. And he scored. He played an excellent game, but he got caught with a penalty on a breakaway, and the Stars scored in overtime.
You can't call that penalty.
So it's his fault you're saying that they lost?
No, I'm not. No. It was a tale of two games for him.
It was wild to go from he scores the first goal and you're like, what an awesome moment, to going to overtime. He does the penalty and loses them the game.
He was stuck in the box.
So the Oilers won that series, huh?
No, the Stars.
The Stars.
Listen,
Oilers
here,
you know what?
Coach
Hold
K,
on a
Dead and
second.
Company.
Oilers won too.
Mike
He's right about that.
Verdozzi. I mean, the Oilers did win, right? They
Yes,
won
they did.
something.
Okay.
They moved on, right?
They beat Vegas.
Thank you.
Hold on.
I had some oil.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes, delay of show.
The Grateful Dead has gotten him. A lot of you have been asking, where is Stugotz? And we thought he was going to be here all last week, but when the Grateful Dead ransack him, he will see 1,000 Krzyzewskis across 1,000 desert miles for 1,000 days.
So much shoe polish.
And we've lost him, and so he hasn't been paying attention to sports. And I'm going to say, just generally, the last 4 years of mushrooms has fried what little remained of his brain.
I'm just grateful he's here.
Thank you, Jeremy. You're going to have to leave as well.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes, high sticking.
You're 2 for 2 on those, by the way. You found those buttons really well.
I'm learning. Give me time. I'm going to figure out this radio game. The soundboard. What? We're a podcast?
All right, our game show's ready. We have our host here. We have our music ready.
But I love Roy just grinning maniacally in the middle of this and just forgetting to do his job. And I wish, can we get him a crown or something? Because I really do want to do this better than I did it last year. I failed Roy. I owe Roy a public and private apology because he was at the elbow room and the trophy was there and I was yelling at him. And just that group of things shouldn't be.
I got dibs on that beat if we win again this year.
No.
I mean, we can maybe both go. That next day, I'm going to be there. Wow. Shirtless.
Whoa.
Hammered.
Whoa.
I just remember last year sitting in this room that day just being like, why am I not there?
Shirtless, hammered, and pink.
Okay,
Whatever
can we not?
You need.
Okay. Can we not talk about what we're going to do when the Panthers win Stanley Cup again?
You're right.
Please.
Carolina.
Such an annoying show. And Carolina, you should be scared of Carolina. Admit you should be scared of Carolina. Admit it.
We swept them the year before.
No, they didn't sweep them. Rob Binsmore said that was not a sweep.
Yeah, that was
I mean, there were 2 overtime games, so yeah, sure.
I will say, though, Roy, it's similar styles with the Hurricanes. That scares me a little bit.
Yeah, but the Panthers are better at that style than they are. So
okay, and he will be confident, and this show will be annoying. I'm sorry for that. I apologize in advance. I told everyone to pace themselves. We're here. We are officially a just buzzsaw of annoying as a show. The people who do not like hockey do not care about what we're doing. And when it becomes, I told you so, I had that more right. I was correct. I'm the good luck charm. And I was superstitious and sitting on the right seat in my couch. And my wife knows when it becomes that show,
John in his bed,
nobody
likes
likes that show.
Thank you, John.
Nobody likes that show. But you know the show they do like? The most wrong take in the history of this show. Roy's just smiling at me again. He's not doing his job.
A team that was amazing. Like, from a fan standpoint, like, I go to a lot of games, and I just enjoyed every night going to the arena thinking that the Panthers might score 10, because it was a legitimate possibility. They might score 10
they
goals.
Only want the cup.
The coach came in is like, the style is going to change. We're going to play playoff hockey in the regular season. Listen, pal, if you're 6 points, if you're 6 points out of the final playoff spot, you're not playing playoff hockey in the playoffs. I enjoyed the team. I liked the team. It's been bad for the Florida Panthers for 20 years. I can't fathom that after 2 years of unprecedented success for this franchise, I'd be like, you know what? After that unprecedented success, we're done with it.
What an asshole.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Ryan. You know I'm a race fan. You know I travel to races, and I had a great experience a couple of weeks ago sitting outside the RV, toasting the good times with Miller Lights in hand with some of my best buddies. It was truly a memory that I'll remember forever, and truly a time that was made better by making that time a Miller time. Trust me when I say, there just isn't a better feeling than hanging out with your boys, clanging those beautiful white cans of Miller Lite, and realizing that you don't got to worry about the taste of your beer, because the taste of your beer is designed for people who love the taste of beer, a taste that you know you can depend on. A great beer trusted by beer lovers for 50 years. From game night to race night to parties with friends or a special anniversary, celebrating important occasions means more moments with the coolest people in your life. Cheers to 50 years of Miller Lite, the great-tasting light beer for people who love beer since 1975. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/stand to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Hey friends, it's Jer Bear here, and I'm here to tell you all about Boost Mobile, which is now a legit nationwide 5G network. So I must take a break from the jokes here for a second and put on my serious voice, because I would never ever joke about a 5G network that has invested billions building 5G towers across the country. Not even once. Not even if Mr. Boost Mobile himself asked me to. There is nothing funny about it. Boost Mobile is now a legit nationwide 5G network and also provides coverage across 99% of America. Seriously. Visit boostmobile.com or your nearest Boost Mobile store location to learn more. The Boost Mobile network, together with our roaming partners, covers 99% of the U.S. population. 5G speeds, not available in all areas.